All right. Hello. Um, my name is Lisa Laney, and I'm here this afternoon to do a brief movement of meditation for Matthew's mindful moment. And I would like for you to find also some space where you can move a little bit today. So, this practice today on meditation is actually where we're going to move more than just sit still. So, remembering that mindfulness of the body is so important when we incorporate our breath and our awareness of our body and how we move, how we walk. And also when we have fun, whether it's through exercise, through yoga, or through qigong, or maybe walking meditation, or just taking a little time and space to move mindfully. It doesn't have to be challenging or difficult, but what's really wonderful to do is to move mindfully, whether you're going at a fast pace or slow pace. So today's practice is something very simple. And I'd like to invite you and your family to try these movements with me and see what happens in your own body. And we can examine through our breath how we feel before and after. So even just taking, 5 to 10 minutes of moving, how it shifts and how it raises awareness of the body and lowers certain levels of stress and raises the impulse of happiness and well-being from just getting outside, or today I'm inside. But now that we're still in school a little bit longer, more and more of us are being able to go out and gather with other friends and have some fun, whether it's riding bikes or hiking, playing tennis, and just moving our bodies. So it's so important to get that health and well-being when we breathe deeply and when we get exercise, and how it recharges our batteries. So let's just start. First of all, I'm sitting down on a couple of yoga mats on a cushion. So take a moment just to find that inner stillness. I'll ring the bell and we'll get started, and I'll mind the time. So I'm going to ring my trusty little chime here just to remember that we're mindfully listening as well. So here we go. This begins our practice. All right, come to a comfortable seat. Get nice and long in your spine, and you can gently place your hands on your lap or on your knees, however you feel comfortable. And just take a moment to check in with your natural breath. And as we sit nice and tall, we can also relax the upper body and our seat. You can cross your feet if you like, or you can even start sitting in a chair. And let's just breathe in through the nose naturally and out. So just finding awareness of the breath. Take a moment to check in with your own breath where you are. And you can notice if your heart is racing, or you're sitting very calm and reflective, or you're just interested in what I'm doing. So listening, breathing, and finding a stillness within your space as you sit, and maybe look around you and see if there's an object or something that you need to move out of the way, because when we get started we like to have room to expand our arms. So let's just do that first. Inhale your hands way up over your head, reach up, and then exhale, slowly bring your hands together to the heart center, and let's bring our hands over our head again. Reach way up and exhale, hands down towards the ground or to the mat. And then inhale, hands once again. Exhale your hands down through your heart center. Take a moment here, find that stillness again. And then we're just gently going to twist over to the left. So look and gaze to the back of your gaze towards the left. And then swing all the way around and gently breathe in. And exhale, twist over to the right side. So just a gentle stretch, not too much. Just look back and see what you notice about your body. And you can roll your shoulders. Just find a a comfortable way to move as you invite movement, especially if you've been working at your desk or you're driving the car or if you're a student sitting at your computer all day studying, listening to your class notes. And then I'm going to invite you to take your right hand all the way down as long as you can. Inhale the left arm up and then just bend a little bit to the side. Maybe take a peek up at your fingers. You can dance your fingers and slowly come up. Inhale, big breath in, reach up, and then exhale. Let's gaze a little bit over to the opposite side and turn and gaze upward towards your fingers. Good. Inhale, exhale, hands back down. This time I invite you to bring both hands up and then gently interlace your hands, press up towards the ceiling. Good, and you can find some movement in your hips, and then maybe gently just place them behind your head like a pillow or cushion, and you can open the elbows nice and wide, lengthen your spine, so lengthen, breathe, and now gaze way up, and notice the opening in your elbows, your chest, your neck, your chin, and then lower your head back down again. So tuck your chin in, bring your elbows close towards your ears, and then inhale, open back up. And then exhale, tuck your chin in. So you're doming your spine and your neck. And then you're lifting your head and shoulders up. Good. And keep your hands where they are, and you can just gently twist to the left and then twist to the right. So notice I'm moving mindfully this way. Just incorporate awareness of my shoulders, how I feel in my upper body. And then I'm going to come back to the middle, and I'm just going to twist a little bit to the right. And we'll do this again standing up shortly. And incorporate your breath. Inhale, come right back up. Good. And now release your hands back down. And let your shoulders relax like you're fluttering your arms. Pull your elbows and shoulders back. Notice any tension in the neck or shoulders. You can actually gently take your right hand right on top of your head and then stretch towards the right shoulder. My left arm is lengthening. So I'm really feeling a nice release in my head, neck, and shoulders. I'm going to gently tap the top to the other side and then extend my right arm out. Really find that nice lengthening. And then come right back up. Good. So I'm feeling nice and more at ease in my upper body. So I'm going to settle for just a moment. My fingertips are touching. And let's just make a little bit of a ball or a diamond shape hand position or a mudra. And I'm going to actually bring my hands up like I have an invisible ball in between my palms. And I'm going to sit nice and tall. I'm going to breathe in. So lengthen your breath. Breathe with me. Exhale, press your palms close to one another. And then we can rotate around. Find your movement. Inhale, reach up. Doesn't have to be perfect. Exhale, back down. So there's different ways we can rotate our hands and our palms, moving mindfully. Maybe bringing your fingertips together in that diamond shape again, and then just open your arms like you're pulling a long piece of taffy away, and then press it back in. And let's do it with our breath. Inhale. Exhale. Very nice. Inhale your hands over your head. I'm going to lengthen my legs out, and I'm going to reach forward towards you, pushing my palms away, and then sitting up nice and tall, bending my elbows, pulling way back. So my elbows are coming back by my side, and then I'm pressing forward like an imaginary wall. I'm moving it away. Can you do that with me? Pull your palms back. Good. And then push away. Now this time tuck your chin and dome your spine. So find some movement that feels good for you mindfully. I'm going to swim my arms back behind me, touch the mat, and then I'm going to bend my knees. You can still do this if you're sitting in a chair. If you prefer to be on the ground, that's great. And then just extend your legs back and forth. This is called boat pose. So find your own boat merrily, and then maybe you can balance, or maybe just one foot and then the other. So moving slow and intentionally. This is good for your core. It's good for the upper body. It's wonderful for your legs and your quads, the big muscles in the top of your legs. And it's also good just for strengthening the whole body, especially the core. So maybe your shape is different than mine. So don't be shy. Just get in there and kick your legs up and down. So moving with a little fun and muscle. So reach up and balance for 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Crossing my legs. And I'm going to roll forward and I'm going to come down off of my cushion, my seat, and I'm actually going to turn some music on and we're going to stand up. So I'm going to start this music and see what happens. Okay, and let's begin. So practicing together for a little bit longer. Here we go. So let's stand up on our 2 feet, step back a few feet, and make sure you can see me where you are. And we're going to do that nice and slow again. So bring your hands up over your head, reach way up, and exhale, hands down by your side. Inhale, bring your arms over your head, and exhale. So moving mindfully with a little music and flow, and then I'm going to stand up nice and tall like I'm holding an invisible ball again, and I'm just going to bend to the right. Inhale up to center, and then bend over to the left. And if that's too much, I invite you to place one hand on your hips, maybe realign your feet, and then just take one side over. I'm bending to my right. Looking up at my fingers again. Coming up. Let's do the other side. Slowly bring your right arm up, placing your hand on your hip. And then come back down. And let's do that shoulder roll again. Back. And forward. Good. And then maybe we can make our magic ball and inhale, lengthening the spine. So finding some movement that feels nice and flowy and free. Doesn't have to be fast. It can be very slow and with intention. I'm going to actually step a little bit wider now. Take my hands all the way out to the side. Pull my shoulders back. Maybe interlace them and really stretch my shoulders and upper body, looking up, down, releasing my arms. You can even cross your thumbs. And then just this time sway a little bit deeper. This time I'm going a lot further. Can you do that with me? And extend all the way over to the opposite rim. And now let's just do a little bit of circling around, all the way over. Everybody can do this. Bend your knees a little bit, even if you're a little tight in your hips. Try it with me. Good. Excellent. Now bring your arms out to this shape. It's like a cactus arms. And I'm going to bend my elbows back and forth. I'm going to twist one way. Hope you can hear me twist into the other. Good. And then I'm going to just press the wrong way. It's what we call a warrior two. I'm sure you're familiar with this shape. You can keep your hands flat or you can push them away. Whichever works for you. And invite you to raise your hands, touch your palms together, bring them through to your heart, and let's go to the other side. So gently enjoying movement of the shoulders, bending through the hips, staying strong in the spine. Knee is in alignment with my ankles. I'm going to stay here a little bit longer. Really push my fingertips towards and away the wall. And you can push your hands out. Sink a little bit deeper into the hips if that works for you. I'm going to pivot my toes back parallel. Slowly stop. Take a moment. And then bring my 2 feet together to the middle. Toes are touching, standing tall, like a big mountain, grounding down through my feet, reaching up, pausing here. I'm folding gently, very gently. It's okay to soften the knees. Let your hands drop down to the mat, and then push down. We call root to rise. Rise up, and bring your hands together at your heart. Inhale, hands up, and exhale. This time you can take your hands behind you, maybe clasp your thumbs, and then rise up. Release your hands up, and then we'll try it again. Fingers are to the right. My thumbs are crossed, and I'm going to go to the left. Excellent. I'm going to stay here with my arms over my head. I'm going to bend my knees. I'm going to bring my hands forward. I'm going to bring my hands to the center here again and fold my chest towards my knees. Let my head hang heavy. Walking my knees and bending from the ankles and the heels. I'm going to bend my knees back up again and rise up. And then exhale back down. Take a moment, find some stillness. Breathe in. And breathe out. So one more big breath in, hands over your head. Exhale, hinge, fall forward. Good, and stay here for just a moment. Let your chin drop to your chest. And if you can bend your knees. If that's too much for you, just don't do that. But I'm going to bend my knees, and I'm going to lean forward. I'm going to sit down onto my heels. My hands are on the lap. I'm just going to rest peacefully for a moment. Finding the awareness of my body, my breath. And then from here, I'm going to take my hands over my head. So if this hurts your knees, you might want to put something underneath your knees. And I'm just going to stand onto my knees, looking to the right and to the left, shoulders back. I'm going to take one hand up and down to the side. Other hand up, down to the side. Good. And if you can see from behind my feet, I'm going to flip my toes because we're going to lean back a little bit. So working the front of our body again. Take your hands forward. Good. And then reach one hand up. Maybe take it back behind you. You can swim it behind you, touching the heel. That's my left heel. Inhale, back up. Take it all the way over. I'm looking to the right, so there's a little twist. And then back here. Good. Both hands inhale up over my head. You can even lean back just a little bit. Good. And then come back to the front. I'm going to sit down for just a moment. Inhale, hands up again. And then on exhale, I'm going to sit down to one side. Inhale, good for the waist. All the way over to the side. Inhale up. All the way over to the one side. I'm just rocking from side to side. Hands are swimming around into a circle. The other way. So I'm really enjoying just letting my body experiment what it's like to move in space, in the room, and working very mindfully. I'm bending my right knee into a low lunge, and I'm going to step back, and forward, and then rise up, step back, inhale, hands up, exhale, bow forward, down to my knees again. Sit back. Sway to one side. Sway to the other side. Coming back. Stop for a moment. Excellent. Now I'm going to come back up to my knees. Hands to my hips. I'm going to step my left foot forward. So a low lunge. Good. So moving mindfully. You can even take your hands over your head if you like. So many ways that we can move mindfully. And each time I shift, I find a new way to move. So, how many different movements can you make in just a brief time? So, mindful moment here today. So, for the rest of this practice, I'd like for you to reach your hands over your head, bring them slowly down to your heart center. I'm going to invite you to sit down with me again. So, I'm going to sit back down onto my mat. And I'd like to close this practice out today with a moment of peace and gratitude. So always find something when you come to your mat or your cushion to do, even if it's just breathing for a short period or just to get away from your desk, to walk around and stretch your body, go outside and get some fresh air. Find something that you're grateful for. So nice that we can move together and let creativity arise as we see, and knowing we can always do something a little more challenging, like go for a jog or a run, but moving mindfully, being mindful of your health, your knees, your joints, your back, everything, your ankles, especially your feet, right? You need to be mindful. So find a mindful moment where you can move, and I will see you next time. So goodbye. This was Lisa from Matthew's Mindful Moment. Thank you.